DJI Mini 3, new update. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night I hosted Rotor Talk Live and I was joined by Mr. Marcus Crawford and very special guest Mr. Matt Cundiff. We spent the better part of the evening discussing all the latest regarding the DJI Mini 3. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety.
Now, one of the things that was real interesting was our good friend C. Lev put out something else, and Joan DJ picked it up and did an article on that. I want to talk about that for a few minutes here because it's let me get the article up.
This is an interesting one.
Is DJI preparing a spat of new drones activity this spring? Okay. And then today, Aceta Lev's Twitter account updated his February 27th tweet stating, 1, Air 2 will have discount. 2, development of Mini 3 has begun. And today's follow-up, the generally reliable DJI information leaker said the Air 2 discount will begin in March 4th, Action 2 included. Shortly before that, a post featured a photo of a diminutive, familiar-looking drone and controller below, heading in a typical company typeface, DJI Mini 3 Pro. Erring towards caution, Aceta Lev added the qualifier, before further confirmation, I'll regard this picture as joking. And it is. It's a very bad Photoshop. Whoever tried to do it, it just didn't fly. I mean, you can tell how bad it is. But then further on in the article, Aceta Lev's prudence notwithstanding, his tweet regarding the Mini 3 largely corresponds to expectations that arose from information that DJI leaker Deals Drone published in December. That featured a multi-year calendar with a Mini 3 listed on the month of April this year, presumably signifying a release date. At least 5 total products are also on the timetable, including an Inspire 3, FPV Mini, and Pocket 3. And you can see, and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago here. Though not necessarily mutually exclusive, Aceta Lev's recent info that the Mini 3 has gotten underway may undermine Deal Drone's evidence of an apparent April release. Where Aceta Lev's information, hot off the internal DJI press, a February development launch would almost certainly not leave enough time for the company to bring a finished drone to market 2 months later. Still, it's been a year and a half since DJI released the Mini 2, and that's a long time for a tech product to go without a major revamp. What might an update involve? Of course, there's no real evidence, but speculation by DJI customers seems to incur an enhanced camera is given, as well as improved battery life beyond 30 minutes. Wish lists also include full obstacle avoidance, as well as, given the additions of sensors required, a Mini 3 automated subject tracking feature the Mini 2 doesn't have. Also unknown is whether DJI would equip a new Mini 3 with remote ID. The current model lacks part of the package. Okay. All right. Lot to digest here. All right. This is kind of going, what Aceta Lev posted was kind of going against what Drone Deals had posted. Okay. Saying that it was going to be an April release. And then he leaks this information, which indicates it's still, they're probably getting ready to start mass producing them now instead of, been mass producing them and getting ready for the April release. It's just, and then there's that bad Photoshop. But one of the things I want to say before I get you guys' input is, these kind of things go out with DJI's blessing. Okay.
Of course.
They don't turn a blind eye. They take any kind of marketing they can get, even DJI. Okay. They'll take it. Anything that's going to bring them, attention, people look them up, that kind of thing. They're going to pay attention to this kind of stuff. So want to hear your guys' thoughts on everything here.
It's a fake ass picture.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely an odd one.
Yeah. And they faked the smart controller and all that business. So somebody was just having fun. But like you said, Bill, at the end of the day, there is a Mini 3 on the way. And what I think we can guarantee is that it's going to have a bigger sensor. Lon was making a comment yesterday on Drone Nation that, everybody's struggling with these bigger sensors. Well, yeah, maybe, But you know who can make it work in my mind?
DJI can.
Yeah.
They always have.
Yeah.
They always have. You know, I mean, it's inevitable. We all know it's inevitable, and I can't see them putting out a product that would allow. I know they're not up against. This is not a competition with them and Autel. I understand that, but I can't see them putting a drone out that will allow Autel to take the top of the reign in the 250 gram market. So
totally agree.
You know,
totally agree.
I mean, that would just be dumb to put out a drone cheaper, but not as many specs, not as much, you know, obstacle avoidance, better camera, and all that. That would just be pointless. You might as well just keep your Mini 2 at that point. So, I mean, DJI has always given us the things that we never thought were going to come. Nobody expected the Mavic 3 to look like it did. You know, it's weird, the designs. So, I mean, we never know.
Matt, you say the exact same thing. Marcus says that all the time. DJI always gives you something you didn't know you needed. Okay. And they do that time and time again here. And I think that's the thing with the Mini 3. Okay. You know, the obvious things, better camera, you know, better runtime. But Ron and I were talking, and I wanted to get your guys' take on this. Okay. You know, a lot of people out there are really, you know, bent out of shape about obstacle avoidance on a 250 gram drone. Well, let me tell you this. Okay. Obstacle avoidance on a drone like the Air 2S, that's needed, okay? Because you're almost, and I'll dare to say, you're almost a professional with a drone like that. I mean, but some people probably use it. So, you know, if you're backing up, that, you know, because you're setting up for a shot, that's going to be great, okay? But if you really think about it, what a Mini 3 is used for, okay, it is more or less, it's a hobbyist drone, okay? It's not, you're not going to find, you know, our good friend Original Dobo going out there to a real estate shoot with a Mini 3, okay? He's going to be going out there with big guns, okay? Something that's going to get him a great shot, and something that he can do something like back up and have that sensor back there and know that, okay? I think, and this is just my personal opinion, Ron and I talked about this, you know, I think an obstacle avoidance is, I would rather have more runtime than obstacle avoidance on a drone like a Mini 3.
Yeah. That's what I would say. I mean, I don't use the obstacle avoidance on my Air 2S, but I know a lot of people that do. Unfortunately, the one rule in my mind, in my opinion, is don't rely on it. It's not something you want to get used to, relying on obstacle avoidance, because that's how you end up with problems.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like my wife tells me, I have blind spot monitor on my Toyota Highlander, you know, and it's nice. But one of the things that I always do, I always look over my shoulder. My dad yelled at me. My dad taught me how to drive. He yelled at me for looking over my shoulder all the time. He says, "Who taught you to do that?" I said, "Mom did." I mean, you know, and because I, you know, while I trust the blind spot monitor almost, you know, there's just a little part of me that needs to be 100% sure that there's nobody in that lane. And I've always done that. That's going to be, you know, every day I drive.
I'm an old truck driver. I've got to have good mirrors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, you know, it's like that's the way that is. So, you know, it's exciting. You know, and I think for me, as far as timing is concerned, you know, I think this article is designed to generate some interest, some information. I think we're closer rather than further away.
Yeah.
For something like this. I think Drone Deals was probably right. You know, Acetylev gets a lot of information and he throws it out there, but you know, whether it's true or not, it still gets that attention for DJI. It still brings the attention and the focus on them. You know
what would be cool and save weight if you think about it? You know,
What's
those
that?
fisheye lenses they have on the Mavic 3 now? Put one of those on the front and the back of the Mini 3 and you'd be good. Right? It would save weight.
I'm
that
no
would be kind
engineer.
of cool.
Yeah, I'm no engineer, but whatever the DJI engineer is thinking, I think Lauren is making good point in the chat. Sub 250. The reason OA might be a good idea is, for sure, it is often a first drone for people, and you know, if it saves somebody putting it in a tree or something, that's not a bad thing.
No, it's a great tool for people that are just starting out in the hobby, or people that have or just like you say, flying as hobbyists.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, exactly right. That second Nano Plus that I got from Autel, the first one I had, the obstacle avoidance was just wonky as all get out. In fact, it was to the point that it was really useless and it was more of an annoyance than anything. But the second one that they gave me, man, it worked pretty damn good. They had it down pat, and it had good warnings and worked just like it should.
Well, Lauren just posted, as I keep saying, stay tuned for scheduled leaks third week of March. So there you have it, folks. You know, I really believe it's sooner rather than later. I think this was done as I don't want to call it a publicity stunt, but you know, for lack of a better term, it probably was, and it brings the attention back to the mothership, back to DJI. You know, it's like you know, Autel's making noise, or somebody else, Hubson's making noise, and then when DJI says something, everything else stops. Okay, everybody starts paying attention to DJI.
Question of the day. What do you think about the latest update regarding the DJI Mini 3? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.